Over the past couple of days, I have had some scares. Okay, some things that were just frightening, scary, whatever. And I'll tell the stories about these, starting with what happened yesterday. Okay, I was home. It was Friday. I was by myself at home with the dogs. You know, the Marmaduke, the old dog, and the puppy, the one I nicknamed Mayhem. And he's gotten pretty tall now. He's almost as tall as Marmaduke, seriously. And we've only had him, let's see, today would be, what, 2 months and a week? Yeah. And when we took him to the vet the last time, he was 26 pounds. We weighed him a couple days ago or so, and he was 34 pounds. So, yeah, he's gotten big. And we asked the vet, is this normal? The vet and the vet tech was around there, if this is normal, and they both said yes, it's normal for him to grow that fast. So, anyway, so I was home with them, the dog, you know, the old dog, which I say is a mix between Black Lab and Bear, B-E-A-R. And they wanted to go outside, so I took them outside in the front. Marmaduke has dementia, and he's has problems going on with how many times he wants to go in the middle of the night, especially, and which direction he wants to go. The backyard where they go to do their business, or the front where they also do, because he determines that. He's big at barking. Oof. Really bad. And no amount of control can help it. He's got dementia. It's not going to stop to change anything. So we wish it roused the puppy up. So anyway, I took him out and then came back in, and just as I came back in, Marmaduke wanted to go back out front again. Okay. And so I took him back out, and this was in the daytime at this one. I was by myself, like I said. Adam was at work, and I was by myself. And I got to the end of the driveway, and this weird thing happened. And this has happened over the years. We bought it new, 20 years. It was a new neighborhood then. Very few people lived out there, and now it's kind of full. It's very full. I don't think there's an empty house, but it's a nice area. And we've had this thing happen before, which is kind of freaky. And I just had this happen last year too. And that is that people will drive down the road, and it's not a big road, and it's not a busy road, I should say. And it's in a neighborhood, and that they will, like, at the end of my driveway, there's the road, and the road goes the other direction of my driveway, of course, and they will drive up to the end of the driveway and just sit there and stare at the house. Like, I would say stare toward the house. They're right there where they could see the front door. Now, I don't know if they're actually looking at the front, the house or me or whatever, because each time it's ever happened, except I think the one that happened to Adam, they had tinted windows. Okay, you can't see. And that's what happened yesterday. Now, at that time, I was out at the street, walking on the sidewalk in front of my house with the puppy and Marmaduke, both of them on a leash, of course. And this car drives down it was an old model car I don't even remember ever seeing, and it was a red color, and it had tinted windows. Okay. Usually those old cars didn't have tinted windows. So they purposefully had tinted windows, which, okay, it's Texas, whatever. So, anyway. And I could only somewhat make out the shape. They had tinted windows, and it seemed to be a man, okay. And I'm saying that because what little shape I could see, I didn't see much hair. It was like a man's cut hair. And, but I looked, because that car stopped right where I was, at the end of my driveway, on the sidewalk, and right at the end of my driveway, and just stopped right in the middle of the road. And I'm like, what the, they had to be staring at me, and I had the dogs on the leash, and so I started walking. They did not move. If it was, I'll say it was a man, did not move. Like, I'm walking toward my door, and he's still sitting there watching, like, whatever he's doing at the end of my driveway. Freaky, you know? And so I rushed the dogs into the house because, okay, I got a dog with dementia, and then I have a puppy. The puppy basically loves people and is scared of everything else. Okay. So, I mean, that was creepy. And like I say, that kind of thing has happened, you know. And one time it was after I had gone to the get my medication at a pharmacy, and the pharmacist did it wrong, and that's a long story. But basically, I filmed it, I videoed it, I called the corporate office while it was happening. The pharmacist and her tech were very verbally abusive toward me, and I had it on camera. And after that, things changed. They were really helpful to me. Not at that location. I would refuse to go back. I don't know if she was fired or not, but anyway, after that happened, I went home and a car did that. Okay, came by. Yeah, and you know, pharmacists, they do have access to your address. And it was really, seriously, that freaky that time. So I've had this happen, and Adam's had it happen to him too. You know, he's had it happen to him. Sorry about that. You didn't see what I was doing. Total ass guy behind me. Oh my goodness, sorry about the ass word. He was like tailgating me. That's not his place to tailgate. Nobody should tailgate anywhere. So anyway, the road's 30, and he's wanting to go as fast as possible. He was wanting to go as fast as possible. It was 30, yeah. But anyway, it was a man probably around my age. I could see him very clear, that one. But as far as to get back to the story, now, you know, things like that happen, but why would anybody drive up to the end of your driveway and just sit there? I mean, why would they do that? They're scoping you out. You're scoping your house out. You know, there are houses on both sides, and both of the houses on either side are there. One of them, the man must be in the neighborhood watch. He must be, really. And the other one, they just have, the men are outside quite often working on their automobiles or whatever they're doing. They're in their man cave, actually. And, you know, our neighbors are nosy. Our neighbors, you know, pay attention. They're neighborhood watch kind of thing. They're watching. Why is this car? Why are y'all going so slow? One's wanting to go too fast, and this one wants to go too slow. All in a day. And then I pull into here, and what happens? Somebody's on my tail again. All of the day. But anyway, so where was I in this story? So anyway, that was scary. That was worrisome enough, I would say. You know, and when I got in the house, I actually got the dogs and me in the house, and, you know, to lock the door, I looked, and that guy, was still sitting there at the end of my driveway. An old car. Never seen it in the neighborhood before. Nothing. I don't know who that would be. Yeah. Okay. Before I go on, somebody knows what I'm talking about. I'm going to try to find that Firehouse Subs restaurant. Yeah. It's supposed to be right over there, and I don't see anything. And I've never known any restaurant to be on this road. I looked it up, I don't know, a couple months ago or so. So I knew there was one in this town, but I just couldn't think of, you know, I knew the road. This is where the post office is. Yeah, today I said, that's the post office road. And there's nothing in that direction. We'll see if I find it. And I also want to say that when I was getting out of my car, there were two women next to me came out, and they were looking at the front of her car, which was I think a Prius or something like that. And they were looking at it, and they're talking really loud. Okay, especially the one woman who it was her car, and she was saying, well, once the life insurance policy comes in, I'm going to buy a new one. And they were looking like it, you know, like as if something was wrong with it. And it was just so weird. You know, I haven't heard anybody talk about a life insurance policy coming through, you know, so with such a voice, and that she was going to go buy a new one. the whole scene was kind of strange, you know, seriously. Does this look like a road to any of you that would have a restaurant on it? I didn't think so either. Yeah, so that's kind of weird. And that is the name of this road, so I'm going to have to turn around here. So I'm not going to find that one. I have to go to Sloshki's. We're wanting sandwiches, so. But that's weird. Yeah, I put it on the map. This is the address. I know this is the address. And there's nothing there. But I'm going to still look at another place and see. I didn't even know these apartments were here. They're old. The road's old. All of it's old. So, now to get back to this story. Real life happens in the middle of a video. I know this is an old neighborhood, so I don't know why there would be a restaurant way away from, not way away, there's the main street, but seriously. So anyway, where was I? Right to that road, right to Sloshki's. I've been here plenty of times, but it's like, maybe, are they owned by the same people? I don't know. I told the guy, the cashier at the window, I said, I know this is inappropriate, probably inappropriate to ask, but do you know where Firehouse Subs is? And he was a real nice guy. He said, oh man, I love that place. Yeah. And he told me it's nowhere around here. He said they haven't updated that on their map. And the directions he told me is nowhere close. And he said, yeah, he had seen it too on the map, on the Google map, the same thing. So anyway, I'm going to get to my story. But you know, this is how I do my videos. Anyway, whatever comes up, I talk about that too. So think about it. I was outside, middle of the day. It was not dark, and this happened with somebody parked at the end, not parked. They were still like driving in the road, but they were still they were just staring, and pardon the blinker, and you know, all that. It was just freaky. So I get the dogs in, and the puppy goes running toward the living room, and Marmaduke goes in the room right there by the door in the bedroom to lay down. And I go sit in the other side it's an office at my desk. And I'm sitting there for probably maybe a few minutes, okay? And I hear footsteps. It's hardwood floor now, and I hear footsteps. Nobody is in the house but me, okay? I was just outside. Nobody has driven up. Adam didn't come through the back door or the side door or anything like that. It was just me. And it's footsteps on that hardwood floor. And it's coming in my direction. Like I said earlier, the puppy is very friendly with other people, you know, with anybody. We got to get him to stop that. But no, he's friendly with anybody. And now I knew I hadn't left the back door open. Nobody should have been able to get in, any of that. So what was weird was that I was hearing the footsteps, and I was hearing the puppy's bell. You know, I put a bell on his collar so I know where he is whenever he's moving, and it was jingling. I was like, okay. And now, when I was thinking this, my brain was going in hyperspeed here, and I was jumping up to whatever I was going to have to do. You know, somebody in my house walking down the hall, and I heard it. You know, I kept hearing it, and so I was, you know, like I said, standing up. And when I did, I saw what it was. I don't know what it is with people today. I'm being tailgated again, and no, I'm not going under the speed limit. So anyway, so I stood up, and I could see what it was, and it was footsteps. Yeah, made by the puppy. Yeah. The puppy had one of Adam's sandals. It's a heavy, thick, heavy sandal, not a flimsy one. It's a heavy one. And he had it in his mouth, and he would drop it, pick it up, drop it, move a little bit, pick it up, just like a footstep. Okay, that is a demon dog. I told Adam, I said, that is a demon spawn. The puppy does weird things, seriously. But that was probably the most scariest. Okay, so, I was all poised, ready to, take care of business, whatever I had to do. And it was the puppy. Yes. The puppy I nicknamed Mayhem. And you wonder why, right? But yeah, I'm not joking. Like I said before in videos, I had named him Mayhem before I saw that commercial. I had seen some of those commercials, even one with a cat. But I had nicknamed him not thinking about that commercial, just thinking about how he causes so much mayhem in our house. Yeah, he does. 2 months and a week of this. Yeah. Okay. Now, I had called Adam at work after the first one happened, because Adam, when it first ever happened to us, right after we moved in, he got an alarm system. What is it called? A video. Takes videos, yeah. And we have one now, a different one, because that was 20 years ago, you know. So I called him because I didn't know if he might have said it or whatever. And I told him about it, and then after that happened with the puppy, I called him back, but not until one more thing happened. So after, I realized it was the puppy that was making all that noise, the footsteps noise. I went back, sat at my desk. Well, I was there, so I just sat back down, and the puppy went into the other room. Then, all of a sudden, I heard this really loud, strange, odd, never heard before sniffing sound. Seriously. I gotta stop laughing too much. My laughter on video sounds totally different than the way I sound. So does my voice. But anyway. So I'm hearing this sniffing noise. And it's loud. It's like I said, just an odd noise. And I knew it wasn't the puppy, because I've heard the puppy sniff things before. So I go, what in the world is it going to be now? And I looked around where I heard it then, and it was the puppy. The puppy that sandal had stuck its nose in the top of the sandal and was sniffing, and it was making the sandal kind of vibrate or something. So it was a really weird noise. I was like, okay, that's enough for today. That is enough of this dog, the puppy, for today, or just weird over there, something new. But anyway, so that was yesterday. This morning, total mayhem again, and I would go, but no, it's turning. Okay, my camera got hot sitting on the mount. It's 64 degrees, so I think I'm just going to wrap this up here and tell the other one maybe of what happened today in another video. But basically, I'm a little worried about my puppy, but yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. Talk to y'all later.